gentlemen, we're back, yo. We're back with another classic. I know this is going to be one of those episodes that you're going to press the rewind button. I'm excited to introduce our next guest. You heard it briefly in the intro. If you're listening right now on Apple, Spotify, whatever device that is for you, we got the one and only, guys. When I say the one and only, she's the people's mentor. And I mean the people's mentor, not only just from the aspect of helping the people, but also her podcast is one of the most highest ranked podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one and only Jessie Lee is on the show today. What's up, fam?
Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's Jessie Lee. You can call me #BossLee. I'm excited to be here. I'm very excited. Nice and early in the morning. But, you know, I do for you. I do for you. I do for the people. So I'm excited to have this conversation. I love your energy. I've already known that from, you know, our clubhouse, our new home address, Clubhouse Lane. And I'm really excited for this. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. Listen, I want people right now, because I know, you know, our audience, they love researching. They love going to the show notes. They love clicking on the Instagram handles. Take us back to like the young Boss Lee growing up. First off, where are you from?
Okay, so I'm from Middletown, Maryland. So you're from North Carolina. So I'm probably about 7 hours north is where I'm from, but a small country town. And I'm really thankful for how I was raised, because I was raised by my grandparents. I was raised in poverty. I was the kid that didn't have the clothes that fit. We didn't really have enough food for the whole family. So you'd get like the chicken, the grocery on Sundays, because it's cheaper. Mm-hmm. And then you'd make like all these meals out of it, right? You'd make like, you know, cream of chicken, sweet and sour chicken, chicken fried rice, like whatever. And that's how I was raised. And I'm so thankful for that, because it put this hunger in my belly of like, this really sucks. Like, there's got to be a better way than this. Cause like my parents worked, you know, my grandparents were retired, obviously, but like my mom and my dad, they were still alive. They were just, you know, constantly busy working, grinding, and stuck in this 9-to-5 rut that, quite frankly, it seems like nearly everybody gets stuck in. And, you know, I graduated college, and I took the entrepreneurial path pretty quickly. I was 22, and I decided that I was just I had to, because I had been working since 13. My first job was in an ice cream shop. I got that little, like, you know, job, whatever it's called, like your parents have to sign off. So I always had the work ethic, because I saw good work ethic. I just saw way more struggle, though. I was raised in a household with like a lot of domestic violence, and I sent my dad to jail when I was 9. It was like the craziest childhood. Like, it's too much to get into right now, but I love it. And I've, through personal development, realized it's a huge blessing. It's been a gift to be able to say, this happened, but this is how I've chosen to react. If you can apply that to things like that from your childhood, you can apply that to everything in your life. And so that shot me into entrepreneurship, because I did get a job out of college. And I mean, I was working in a pathology lab, and everyone was so proud of me. They're like, oh my God, you have benefits, you know, like everyone was so excited about benefits. And yeah, I mean, here we are. I was like, we're broke every 2 weeks, just like my mom and dad, you know? And so I made the pivot 22 years old, 10 years ago, to go full-time entrepreneur. And here we are.
That's crazy. I think so many people right now, they're listening to your story, right? And you touched on something that's important, and that's personal development, right? When we talk about personal development, people look at it and people say, okay, where do I actually start, right? They don't have the vision. They don't have the ideas. You're somebody that trains an absolute machine when it comes to training people, from recruiting, all those different things. What is your advice for somebody right now that's struggling on personal development, and how can they start, you know, actually realizing their potential?
What a good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Like, they'll ask, what's your favorite book or whatever, but they'll never say, like, how did it start for you? So I think I was much like most people, where I don't even know the statistic, but it's like, it's like you graduate high school and like people don't pick up a book ever again. They read like one more book in their entire life. And I think that was pretty much the path I was on. Right. Yeah. And I ended up really stumbling into this whole direct sales, you know, selling in people's homes thing when I was 22 in 2011. And it's like they would sprinkle things in You know, like you would get on a call for the company and they'd be like, oh, like Jim Rohn. I'm like, who the hell? Who the hell is that? Like, I don't know who that is, right? They'd say, oh, and Zig Ziglar. I'm like, that is the weirdest name ever. That can't even be real. Like, that's fake, right? And I'm like, that's not a thing, right? And I'm writing these things down. And then it's so weird that I remember this book. It's still in it's still in my house. I never even got rid of the original copy that I bought. But I just wanted to sell more. Like, I think it wasn't some like altruistic reason that I decided to personally develop. No, it was like other people were selling more than me. And I was like, biatch, like, I want to sell more. How you sell more than me? Like, I'm cute. Like, I couldn't figure out why, the people could sell more than me. Oh my God. And so I picked up this book, and I think it's called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. I'm like almost entirely positive that's the title. So Chet Holmes is definitely the author, and it's a red book. I'm looking around my office to see if it's like sitting in here. I don't know, a lot of books. But like, I went through it, with a pen, and I was like, take notes in the margins of the products I was selling. Like, oh, this, like, say this line. Like, I'm taking these notes because I wanted the effect. So everyone does something. There's a cause and then there's an effect. There's a cause and there's an effect. I read the book because I wanted more money. I was like, I need to make more money. I'm drowning in debt. Like, I've got to do something. I've got to get better at moving high ticket items or upselling or cross-selling or, the convincing part of sales. Like, I don't know what I'm really doing. And then after I started seeing like almost instant results from this, by the way, when you read a book, you shouldn't just, I hope people are taking notes, by the way, when you read a book, don't just read it. Like, one of the things I coach on is read. And I don't care if you're reading 3 sentences. If you get the thing out of it, stop reading. I know that's weird. People are like, no, it's my 42 minutes of personal development. It's my da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God, so cool. My assistant just brought me. Literally still have
got it.
Oh my God. Like, that is so, look, see?
Still highlighted.
Oh my God, Throwback Thursday.
Still
that's
highlighted.
Crazy.
That's a whole post that's a whole Instagram post right there.
I told you, look, like in the margins, I'm like writing. This is so, oh my God, I haven't looked at this in forever. Look. Okay, anyway.
Ready.
That's crazy. That's fire. Like, I'm so excited now. I'm gonna probably have to reread that now. But anyway, I know there's people who are like, oh, I do my 45 minutes of personal development, my hour of personal development, my 10. It doesn't have to be that long. Ooh, and I say that to people because that's where you can start. Just turn on a podcast. Just open a book and read one sentence. Okay, like this, I just opened this up. 4 ways to double your business in just 12 months. Like, shut up. I'd probably read this. This page, done. But here's the key. You have to implement. So development without implementation is worthless. Speaking of Clubhouse, I see a lot of people that are literally living on there. And I'm like, you're on here 16 hours a day. What have you implemented? Because I know you've heard amazing things. I know for a fact you've heard $1 million tips. Well, have you done anything with it? And so that was like my key distinction. That really shot me off into this like rocket ship of success. Was I would read a page, or I'd read 5 pages, or I'd read 10 pages, and I'd go implement. Or I'd listen to a podcast and I'd listen to 10 minutes and be like, oh, that's a banger. And I'd stop and I'd implement. I'll get on Clubhouse. People are like, you're in and out of rooms. I'm like, yeah, because I got what I needed, man. I'm going to make some money with that. You going to go over here and just like collect notebooks. I got money to make. Let's go. Like, I get fired up about it. But it started with literally this book. It went into events. I love events. COVID needs to completely go away so we can do live events. It's crazy. Gosh, Texas is opening again 100% next week. So that's exciting.
I saw that. They're not playing. They're going full throttle over there.
They're done. And I do love podcasts. That's why I started my own. I'm like, I like this. I think my voice, your voice too, but I think our voices translate really well through audio. Some people are kind of dull, you know?
They're kind of boring. Let's be real.
Yeah. And I'm like a cartoon character, like, blah. So you never know what I'm going to say. You never know what sounds are going to come out of my mouth. So, it translates well, I think.
I want to ask you is because like when you got somebody on a podcast, somebody I feel like can really teach somebody something. Like I've had people on the show and I'm like, all right, cool. They got good sound bites. They got good motivational tips, but like, yo, you're a teacher, fam. So when I say that, I want to ask you this though. Somebody right now is saying, okay, we talking money, we talking sales, we talking about, okay, Boss Lee wanted to get more paper, all those things. They're struggling with attracting those high-end clients. So what are your best tips on not only attracting those high-end clients, but closing them?
Okay, so I'm just taking notes, of course. All right, so first of all, I love this. I love this because people used to tell me that social media was never going to make people money. Like people really tried to convince me that social media was not the way. And I'm like, if I go live and I have 50 people that view it, like total views, which most people would think is a big failure. I looked at it like, that's like I filled a room with 50 people last night.
Facts.
Like people see, now I go live and it'll be, back when the algorithm was different, it'd be like 40, 50, 60,000 views. Right now it's like 10. Mm-hmm. But that's a stadium, fam.
Whole stadium.
That's stupid. That's crazy. Don't get caught up in that because I started my business 10 years ago in homes with 2 people, 4 people, 3 people, 6 people, right? Now you can go live and you can have 10 people watch you total, even replay. That's a whole event, in my opinion. So anyway, attracting high-end clients, period, we can really talk about because you can take a client and turn them into a high-end client. You can take a client who doesn't really have the relationship equity with you yet, and they might give you a sliver, and then you spend time building the relationship equity, and then the wallet's open, right? Like, I'm sure you invest as well.
Yeah.
Like when I invest, I mean, could I drop millions and buy whatever? Yeah, but you don't do that. You start with like, okay, what do you want? What's the lowest cost entry to get in this? Okay, you want 50K? Okay, like you can build a 50K relationship pretty quickly. 500, like that gonna take a minute.
That's gonna take a while.
So that's the first thing I will say is if you want to attract high-end people, you need to exercise patience. Okay, patience. It's so easy to look at somebody who's really successful and say, "I want what they have." Bet. Are you willing to do everything that we've done? Are you willing to put in, quite frankly, the hours, right?
Tell them.
I get it. You want it now. You want it now. Okay, it doesn't work like that. So you got to put in the time in the relationship. So attracting people, understand that everything you put on social media is attraction. Everything. So what I coach people to do is actually show more of them. So what this means is you're creating a relationship where people get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you. And this is through building a brand. Now, don't overthink this because right now I know people went, oh my God. Well, just like pull your car over because you're listening. I know. Just pull it over. Get your little pen and paper out. Let's take some notes. Okay. Like get off the treadmill. Don't fall off. Like a brand just means what is your reputation online? What do people think about when they think about you? And so it shouldn't just be your business. This is like critical error number 1 I probably see on a lot of these people that are trying to get high-end clients, their social media. I don't know who you are.
Tell them. That's like so underestimated. Like tell them. Like that you gotta go off on that.
Right. Like who are you? You want me to buy something from you? But like I know what business you're in.
Yeah.
But I don't know you. I'm supposed to give you my credit card number. Like, I remember when I started in business, I keep going back to it because you asked me my story, but like, I remember people being like, oh, no one will ever give their credit card number over the internet. This is not going to work. And I was like, I think I can create a big enough relationship they will. And then I remember people, and then it got to the point where I'm like, they're giving me their social security number through Facebook Messenger. Like, like this is fine, But it's because, now here's what you're going to do. I want you to write down 5 things. Anyone who's doing this, anyone who's listening to this, right? Write down 5 things that make you you. And it can't be your business. Okay. And you can't just put, I'm a dad, I'm a mom. No. Like, if you are a dad or a mom, what kind of dad or mom are you? Like, are you the crazy sports mom? You know, like the psychos that like sit in the stands, go baby! Like, are you that kind of mom? Or are you like the crunchy mom who's like, I don't put no chemicals on my baby. We don't vaccinate around here, cloth diapers. Ooh, like, okay, that's cool. But like, you're in a specific, like, there's specific moms and dads you connect with because that's who you are. So don't just put mom or dad. Do you like football? Are you a football person? Okay, well, like, even that, niche it down. Like, who's your team? Who's your college team? You know, are you Roll Tide, like Clemson Tigers? What you doing, right? Or are you, and who's your NFL team? You know, or if you don't care about that, what do you care about? Do you love art? Do you love boats? Do you love gardening? Do you love collecting things? I don't know. Like, what is it that makes you you? Like, people think of me, and there's very specific things they think about when they think of me. They know I'm like covered in tattoos, but I'm the successful, loud businesswoman, right? They know I love to travel. Travel is my jam, right? And yes, business can be part of what you're known for, but not just your business. Like, I'm known as a business coach, a business mentor, my podcast. I'm known as a teacher, like you said. Yes, but that's not, oh, buy this from her. And the thing is, around these little topics that you just wrote down, these 5 things, that's what you post about. So people start to get to know you. And if you literally are sitting there and you're like, I don't know who I am. Like, I've lost my identity. I'm in my 40s, my 30s, whatever it is, 20s even, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, whoever's listening. And I don't know who I am. I literally have people hold up like their hand like this with a 3, or if you do it like this, 3, okay? Take a selfie and go post it on your social media and ask people, what are 3 things you think about when you think about me? Comment below. Because you'll start to understand, oh my God, I didn't know I was a motivator. Oh my God, I had no idea that people know me for having like look at your lineup. Like, you're lined up pretty well over there, right? Like, maybe you're known for that. I don't know. Like, this is the first time we've really like seen your face. I've just heard your voice a bunch. Like, what are you known for? Maybe you're the guy that only wears Nike. I don't know. I just see a little Nike over here, little Nike action. But you might be, because there's Adidas people and there's Nike people. Like, I'm just saying, get your mind going with these things, because then you can start posting about those things, because you'll start to build a following around those things. Then you have a pool of clients.
Tell them.
Successful business is not, this is going to sound so foreign to some of you who have never heard me before, but successful business is not actually from people who focus on the sales. People who have successful businesses focus on the leads. Because it is not that people are numbers, but it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
How many people are you attracting? And then you want to close them? Closing is easy, in my opinion. Because if you've built this big reputation.
It's a no-brainer.
We won't use the word brand, right? Yeah. If you've built this reputation, if people know you, if people like you, if people trust you, then when you present them with something, they know you, like you, trust you. It's like, oh, so that's the med spa you like? Well, I trust you. Let me go book an appointment. Oh, that's the hair girl you use? Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's your barber? Let me go in there. Yeah, okay. Oh, those are the shoe. That's a brand of shoes you like? That's how influencer marketing started. It started with the guys and the girls posting their lifestyle, posting who they are, building trust and equity, relationship equity with people, so that then when they say, hey, I got a drink for you that does this. I got a pair of jeans that'll make your butt look like this. They don't ask questions. They trust. They trust. Now, the only other thing I'll say about closing is whoever has the best posture will always win. Now, I'm not talking about back posture, because mine's whack. I got to sit up better, okay? But like, oh, my creative director is always like, sit up. I'm like, I thought I was. All right, but it's like shoulders back. I'm like, this is not comfortable. But anyhow, I'm talking about when I'm in a conversation, I could have just spent the last 10 minutes lying to you about all this stuff. You wrote it down and you believe me because of the way I say it.
Confident.
Yes. What is your posture? You need this. You need this. You need this. Do this. Do this. This is what you need. Blah, blah, blah. But right now, hey, if you don't do it now, I'm telling you right now, it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out. Go. And then the only other thing I'll say is make it really easy. Make it very easy for your customer to shop. Maybe that's Linktree in the bio. Maybe that's click this link. Maybe that's if you need any help, I'm right here. Hey, would you like me to build you a cart? Simple, 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 simple. You'll close more people.
Love it, yo. I love it. You coming with it. I want to ask you the question because let's jump back here, right? You started your entrepreneurship journey full in, right? All the way in your 20s. You talked about it. So if you were to jump back, back to that time, you say, yes, I believe in me. I'm ready to bet it all on me. What advice would you give the young Boss Lee?
What advice would I give to the young Boss Lee? Oh, gosh. Yeah, I would say this is, I don't know, maybe you'll expect me to say this, but I would have told myself to work harder, faster. I thought I was working hard. Like real talk, I was like, oh no, like I'm getting after it. I'm making the calls, okay? I'm doing the text messages. I'm following up. Man, I was quick to procrastinate, I was quick to play the perfectionist game. I was quick to say, oh, I said I was going to talk to 10 leads today, so I'm going to talk to 10. I should have talked to 100. If I did one video, I should have been doing 5. Like, I look back then because when you're 22, I still got good energy. Let's not even trip over it, okay?
You ready?
But like when I was 22, when I was 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, like, oh man, I was like rocketing out of bed, I could find time for anything, and I think anybody still can though. Like, priorities aren't ever in conflict. I would write that down. It's so good. Priorities aren't ever in conflict. So if you say something's important to you, do it. I didn't know you could make millions of dollars a year. Like, I know people did, but I was like, me? No. So I was working really hard on making that couple $100,000 a year when I was in my early 20s. Cause I'm like, now that would be fire, right? People would say Lamborghini, Ferrari, private jet, whatever. And I'd be like, oh no, like that's reserved for someone. So I'm going to work to the $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year mark. That's like crazy money. Like me, small town poverty, like I made it when I'm there. And my vision just wasn't big enough. So I would say bigger vision, bigger work ethic.
Ooh, period. I love it. I think those are two things to really run with. Because I think so many times we place these limiting beliefs on ourselves. As you started really rolling this thing out, right? You got to that 25, 26. You got, those first couple 6 figures. Like when you really start looking at how you were moving, were there a moment where you're like, you know what, I don't even know if this is still gonna work, or I need to switch something up? How do I propel myself to go, from 6 to 7? Tell us a little bit about, what moment was that for you? I think it'd be good for our listeners to really put themselves in your shoes through the process.
Oh my God, so good. Okay, first of all, I hear people say all the time, and I know you do too. They go, oh, I wish I just had somebody telling me what I should do with my life. Like, have you ever heard that?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, right? Like, just tell me exactly what to do with my life and then I'll do it. Like, oh my God. Okay. You do have a sixth sense. You do have somebody telling you what to do every day. It's called your intuition. What is that feeling like right here in your chest? Some of you might feel it here in your throat. Some of you might feel it here in your belly. What is that feeling you get? And you're like, oh, I'm supposed to run toward that. But you don't listen, you stubborn little bull. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm 25 years old and I'm in Chicago and I'm making $200,000 a year. And I'm like, man, I made it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right? Like I was on an incentive trip for the company because I was, a top seller or whatever, top recruiter, top something, I don't know, top leader. And I'm not even having a good time on this trip. Like my intuition was hollering at me. And I don't know if you believe in God, but I do.
Oh, yeah,
okay. I don't understand people that don't believe in God, by the way, not to get in a religious conversation. But I'm like, do you go through life thinking your whole life is a series of coincidences? Anyway.
He already knows how it's going to go.
Right. So I'm there and I'm like, woof, like I feel that. What is that? You know? I'm like, I know I'm not happy, but like, then you got to watch God work because then like out of nowhere, I mean, it seemed like it was out of nowhere. I'm there and I get this message from someone. His name was Christopher. And he messages me and he says, I know you're not going to join me in the kind of business that I do, but you need to take the sales you've been making in a direct sales company and you need to put it in this kind of compensation plan. And I'm like, but my intuition was screaming.
Yeah.
Just like those of you who are listening, you know what I'm talking about. That feeling where you're like, this is a good idea or this is a bad idea. And like you either listen or don't. Right? I paid attention. And I said, all right, I'll put these numbers in this boy's little compensation plan thing he's talking about. Not even joking. 9 days later, I joined a network marketing company because I put it in there. I would have been making over $1 million a year at 25 years old. I wanted to barf in a corner. And even then, people will see that and they still won't change because they're so scared. Well, for those people who are so scared to take the intuitive leap you're supposed to take, let me tell you something. If you really built it, if you really built your business, if you're really the one who collected those email lists, if you're really the person that built the social media following, if you're really the one who got on here every day, sounds like, and podcasted, you can do it again. Hear me on this. I knew it. I said, I know I can get back to 200 grand a year, take everything away from me. I can do that again. And it turned into $1 million in a year. I made over $1 million at 26. Like, what the hell? Right? Because I had transferable skills. You're not an idiot, whoever's listening to this. You're fully capable, whoever's listening to this. You have this thermostat in your life. Okay, I'm getting passionate. Woo! You have this thermostat in your life. If you have a thermostat set in your house and you say, I like it at 72 degrees, and it gets cold because winter comes, what happens? The thermostat kicks on and makes sure it sits at 72. And what happens if it turns hot? If you're in Texas, all of a sudden it's getting smoking hot, turns 80 in the house, the thermostat turns itself right back down to 72 because this is where you're developed to. I'm not talking about a thermostat, people. I'm giving you an analogy, okay? You're comfortable at 72. So you can personally develop and raise your temperature. Or no matter what, it's why people who go, I'm so broke, I'm always struggling. You can always barely pay your bills. You notice that? You might have $5 left at the end of the month, but you didn't get evicted. You figured it out. You ran to get back to 72 because you were down here at 66 like, dang, it's cold. Oh, you can all do this. Everyone can hit their baseline. So take the leap of faith. And then, I've had ugly stuff happen. In 2017, my whole life came crashing down, basically. Oh, it was ugly. So for those of you who are like, oh, is everything going to be, good? And no, I love you. No, like I've had it and I've lost it. And then I had it, I was making over 200 grand a month, 27, 28 years old. And tough. I got terminated from my position and I got divorced, like my marriage fell apart. I lost my business. I lost basically every friendship, not all of them, but a lot of them. Right. My Nana died who raised me. I started at the beginning of the podcast and told you that. It was like everything was hitting me. Everything was crashing over me. And I will tell you, it goes right back to personal development because I was able to see it as, what is this happening for? Not this is happening to me. Not a huge victim mentality, not, oh my God, my life is over. No, it was like, this is awful. And don't get me wrong, I had anxiety, I was depressed, like I was in the hospital for my health was failing, like it was not good. I'm not going to pretend it was like, I was like, this is happening for me. What a freaking gift, man. No. Okay, that would be called psychosis, right? I was upset, I was devastated. But my life since the giant eruption of 2017, where everything was crap, it's been so beautiful. Everything has folded into my life. Like, no, this is in his perfect timing. Like this was supposed to happen. And so when you're going through it, I would just ask you to see it for what it actually is, that life is happening for you, not to you.
Man, powerful story. But most importantly, not only that you lost it, but you figured out how to get it back. But what made you really get it back was going back to thinking about that personal development, which we really broke down for our audience listening right now on how you can tap into that. Boss Lee, I want to ask you a question that we've asked everybody that's been on the show, right? No matter where they are. If you're that person listening to the show right now, whether you graduated college or perhaps you didn't even graduate school at all, you dropped out, fam. You're asking yourself the question of the podcast. School's over, now what? What advice would Jessie Lee give?
I would say, first of all, if you didn't graduate from college, that's okay. Not everybody's meant for college, in my opinion. But so school's out, now what? Oh, it goes right back to that intuition. You got to try stuff, though. If school's out and it's time to do something with your life, do something with it. You get to be the one who breaks generational curses. It's very easy to create excuses. I want to remind you that all excuses are created equally. So you can sit there and get a job that you don't like, or you can sit there and bet on yourself and take leaps of faith if you've got entrepreneurial mindset, which you probably do if you're listening to this, right? It's not going to be easy. It's going to stretch you. It's going to be hard. You're going to have late nights, early mornings, devastations, all of it. But at the end of your life, the one thing I always tell people is you do not want to be stuck with the what ifs. And the people who just crawl through a mediocre life, they got a mediocre relationship, a mediocre marriage, mediocre friendships, mediocre body, they don't like it that much, mediocre energy, mediocre money, mediocre. I do believe that at the end of those people's lives, I think most people die with a song still in their heart, right? I do think most people die going, what if I listened to that girl on that podcast 30 years ago? Would I have gone and seen Fiji? Would I have been to the Maldives? Would I have gone to a safari in Africa? Would I have seen Europe? I like travel, as you can tell, right? Would I have flown private? Would I have owned a Lamborghini? Would I have, sent my kids to the school that they probably should have gone to? Would I have moved out of that neighborhood that was so dangerous? Would I have died in the nursing home just now that is terrible? Like, if school's out and what's next, I would say it's life. So just go live.
Powerful, man. I think, you got to go live, try out things, listen to your intuition. This has been a masterclass on personal development. People right now are watching and they're also listening and they want to know more about you. Just give everybody, all your handles, your social media, where they can find you.
Cool. So I'm Boss Lee everywhere. So Jessie Lee Ward on Facebook. I'm Boss Lee on Instagram, Boss Lee on Clubhouse, YouTube's Boss Lee. Ask Jessie Lee at gmail.com if you want to shoot over an email. But everything is just Jessie Lee Ward, Jessie Lee Ward, Jessie Lee Ward. If you Google me, you'll find me. And then the podcast is the People's Mentor Podcast. It's on all platforms, just like yours is. And so I respond to every message. So at least I really, really try to. It's getting a little crazy right now, but I'm a big time communicator. So feel free to shoot over a message and I'll answer anything you need.
I appreciate you, fam, for coming up here and absolutely crushing it. And for those of you that have been listening, I want you to do one thing. Always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it. Hey, what's up, fam? Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. We'll see you next week here at School's Over Now What. And always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it.